We all know that divorce is a common act in our culture, but the statistics are daunting on just how many Christians are divorcing. 50% of marriages end in divorce in the Christian church alone, which leads me to believe that people are losing sight of how important the marriage covenant is to God. So what do you guys think about that?
I think it's obviously very depressing, and I don't know that I would say it's really shocking, because I feel like so many of us have experienced people that we know, or just situations in our own lives that we've witnessed that happening. So what do you guys think?
I think it's hard to believe that when one of my professors here at Southeastern told me that the divorce rate is above 50% in the nation. And then he said, but the divorce rate inside the church is the same as it is outside the church.
And you know, the funny thing is, well, it's not funny, but the sad thing about it actually is that it's now the reasons aren't just because infidelity or something tragic like that, but it's like because of their feelings. Oh, I'm over it. I'm bored. Yeah. And they actually have that no fault law, which you can get out of a marriage for no reason at all. Even irreconcilable differences, you don't even have to state that. You can just get out of it.
I think the flippant view of divorce starts with a flippant view of marriage. Like, it's not this sacred thing anymore. People just do, well, oh, okay, let's get married. Oh, well, then divorce is not that big a deal if you don't take marriage as that seriously.
Something that I've noticed even more is people are starting to get married because of money, things like money, or people are starting to get married or even divorced because of sex and just like lack of communication, like things like that, like little things like that apparently amount to something big to them, enough for them to get a divorce.
Well, yeah, like apparently, I guess the top 3 reasons people get divorced are the issues of money, the issues of sex life and intimacy, and the issues of communication. They really aren't little things. Those are huge
Let's talk about
things.
those. Let's talk about those 3.
Yeah, no, I know like several couples that have, because in like Christian society, it's not right to have sex before marriage.
Right.
So they get married to have sex. And then,
too young. Because they want
too
to
young,
have sex.
and they want to have sex.
And then they don't have any money.
Exactly. In a year or two,
they
That's a
have no
problem.
money, and they're so young they don't know how to communicate with each other. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Well, I don't know if I would say that like marrying too young is a wrong thing, but I think like those 3 main things are what have been causing divorces. So like, I don't know, like how do we encourage people to look past those things when they're in marriages? What do you think we can do?
It's not something that you need to look past.
Yeah.
It's something that there needs to be conversation about. Like you can't overlook money issues. You can't overlook communication. Like those are big deals. Those are foundational things.
Like going into marriages, do you think that people that going into it, they don't talk about, like financially or sexually, or do we talk enough?
I don't think there is. There needs to be more conversation about that.
Well, what about the whole like purity thing? Like, what if you talk about sex or something like that? Is that wrong to do that?
No, it's not wrong at all.
Yeah, I think you should talk about it.
I feel like Christians are afraid to talk about it.
Maybe
And
that's the whole
listen,
part
like
of communication.
God made it for marriage. You know what I mean? And it should be a beautiful thing in marriage. And if it's not dealt with properly, maybe that's what's leading to divorce, is because Christians don't know how to do it right and like how God intended it to be.
Yeah, and one thing I was just gonna say is one of my best friends since I was a kid, like he's getting married this summer, and I'm gonna be his best man. And one of the things that he told me, I was like, dude, why, like is this something is this something you're committed to? They've been dating for a year, and I'm really happy for him, and I believe that they're meant to be together, because they're without a doubt committed to each other. But the thing I asked him was, okay, why are you doing this? And he told me, without a doubt, this is it. This is the person I know I can commit the rest of my life to, without a shadow of a doubt.
What I want to know though is how do Christians especially get off justifying that they're ending a marriage based on like no feelings anymore? Like how do they get off justifying that?
Well, that's the thing that I feel like marriage has become, is people have established love based on feelings, that it's all emotion. And it's not. Like feeling or love is a choice. It's not just a feeling. You're committing your life to someone. There's going to be ups and downs, but you shouldn't hold them to every wrong that they've committed. You know, it's about loving that person through whatever they do. And I feel like we've lost that as a community.
What do you guys think about the effects that it has on children, starting off on like when they're young, and that effect right at the beginning when they first divorce?
I think it's terrible. My parents, when I was in middle school, I was in the 8th grade. My mom packed up one day and left. Wow. And she was gone for 8 months. Right. Like it was just my dad, and he worked all day. He wasn't the one that took us to school. My mom was. He wasn't the one that picked us up from school. My mom was. He wasn't the one that made our lunches to go to school. My mom was. And so without that influence, like, there was this serious void. Yeah. Like, there's obviously something missing.
Yeah, I can definitely say that I've been there too, because my parents got divorced, and we're going to continue to keep talking about this, like what is love, and we're going to continue talking about this right when we come back.